Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Hopefully you're excited for another night of the US Track and Field Championships. Things have been heating up these last few days and I'm sure that we'll get something special. In just a second, we'll get the 110-meter hurdles on the track, starting off with the great Grant Holloway. We'll get into that in a second. Once again, I am joining you from my traveling studio. Last night, obviously, served up some really great statement runs. Noah Lyles showed his class clearly. Kung Fu Kenny and Fred Curley, in my estimation, showed up in a big way. Coleman, most disappointed not to make the team, especially after a good semifinal run. I hope you find value in this channel and will like and subscribe as we do this watch along. And it's your show, your community here as well. And I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to be engaged as we get ready for the opening rounds of the 110-meter hurdles. As usual, the United States is setting this up in the top 6 from each heat plus the 3 next fastest will advance to the semifinals. We anticipate here that Grant Holloway should dominate this heat. He already has a world-leading time of 13.03 seconds. His goal at this Olympic trials is just to progress through the rounds, secure his place in Paris, because Holloway, the premier hurdler of a generation, has multiple world championships. Once came within 100 of a second of the world record. The only thing missing from his illustrious career is the Olympic title. We all remember in Tokyo, Hansa Parchment, the Jamaican, had other ideas for that night, and he took the title. So Holloway has to be just focusing on this Olympic title. The journey starts here at the U.S. National Championships. I don't see any trouble for him in this heat, and they're going to get in the blocks as we get started here. Thank you everyone for joining. Don't forget to put your comments in. So Holloway's getting in the blocks at the moment, and this should be really easy. Top 6, advance. Interesting kind of gear there. You know, Grant likes to wear the flowing shorts. It should be really a comfortable training run here. Yeah. All in the game. How are you doing? Yeah, he is. Let's see. Holloway's out. Very good start as usual for Grant Holloway. No one is in the mix except for him. He's cleanly hurdling. It's really hard to even judge this. It's just fantastic run. He runs through the line. 12:93. What is he on? That's a legal win. 12:92. Rounded down 0.8. Was he trying to go for the world record in the opening round? He's in the crowd now, holding a kid who had a sign says that "Go Grant," I think. What a fantastic run there from Grant Holloway. 12:92. That's now the new world lead. Excellent start. Very low, powerful coming out. Gets over the first hurdle. Very good from this angle. I'm not sure if he clipped any of them. I don't know what they're doing with the screen here, but they're kind of stopping it on my end. It's very good there. It's a bit slow motion run. I'm just trying to see if he hit any of these hurdles. He hasn't hit any. This is very clean hurdling there. I'm not quite sure if he hit any on the way, but he looks really smooth. Look at that. As you know, I've always said this. I think Grant Holloway is the best hurdler we've ever seen up to 8 hurdles. He's probably going to be the best hurdler we've ever seen. That's another story. But nobody's very close to him when he gets to the first 8 hurdles. And he was really motoring here, and he's going for the line. I think he really wanted to probably tackle a world record. I don't know if that's what was happening there. We'll get a sense of that. Hi, Sonia. How are you doing? Good to see you. Yeah. So automatic 10 top 6 goes through. As All in the Game was saying, Tharp, that kid is really talented, and he He finished what, fourth in 13:37. All these times are really good times. 13:33 for Hunter, Luff 13:33 as well. 13:37, 13:38, 13:56. You would think that's reasonable opening times when you just need a top six. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good one. We had there. The second heat coming up will feature Jaden Smith, Freddie Crittenden, Bowden, Hunt, Reed, Cordell Tinch, Williams, Edwards, and Dunning. I think Heat 2 has some good athletes there, obviously. Freddie has a PB of 13 seconds this season best of 13:16. Tinch, also a guy has gone sub 13, 12:96, and this year's also gone 13:16. They should go through comfortably. It's not much of a trouble here. I'm just seeing a shot of Valerie Allman. The Also, the women's heptathlon is in progress clearly. Right now, Hall is leading just the 800 meters to go. And so we'll get to see that later on. She's leading 5,566, I'm sorry, ahead of Hawkins 5,560 and Brooks 492. So there is, and those three should make it depending on what we get in the 800 meters. I don't know how much in the end Anna Hall will score. Right now, as we know, Nafitiam is back and she has the world lead in 6,848 points. We also saw 6,642 from Veta earlier this year as well, way back in May. So good athletes there already over the 659 mark. So we'll see what we get here, but this is just interesting time for Anna Hall to come back from injury, and hopefully she successfully makes it onto this team. She's such a talented athlete as well. Cheryl is saying, why don't we just give Grant the goal? He cannot lose compares. Well, it's funny you'll say that, Cheryl. That, we've always said that, and Tokyo served up something different than usual. Obviously, Hansa Parchment on that Tokyo night, the special story of him missing the bus or the shuttle to to get to the stadium earlier, could have missed everything, and he finds a way to win. So you have to run the races, but Holloway is the premier hurdler of this generation, as I mentioned earlier. He's won everything. He's unbeaten indoors for how many years now? Has all the world titles that you need already to establish yourself. Very close to the world record. Silver medal at the Olympics. So he needs this Olympic goal, I think, to really feel good about himself and to just cap off a stellar career. But to say, give him the gold medal, and I don't think that anybody wants to do that, right? But it certainly looks that way. Usually, when he shows up, you think it's everyone else is running for silver and so on. But that's why we run the races. But he's a tremendous asset to the sport. I think I like his vibrato, Mr. Flamingo, as they often call him. But yeah, it's not going to be a cakewalk, I don't think. I think the rest of the Americans will have something to say. Roberts, Cunningham, Cordell Tinch, even Crittenden here, obviously. Beard as well. That kid could do something. It's not particularly a kid, I should say that again. He's almost like uh, is in his mid-20s. But then when you think about competition from abroad too, you don't know the Italian has run good time as well. What's his name? Simonelli. And so you got to be in the right shape, and Grant usually is in the right shape. I always say that if you can get to Grant at the top at the 8 hurdle, it's possible that you could put pressure on him. He usually doesn't have any competition around there, and so that's how they normally beat him. I think there's a Jamaican that beat him once too. Similarly, I think it was Broadwell. If my memory serves me correctly, don't quote me on that, but I think that's what we will see. The second semifinal is about to come up in a second. All in the Game is saying will be a good battle in the HEP 800 meters between the top four. Certainly, yeah. Special story here for Cordell Tinch as every time I see him. But this should be a good, easy run for them as well. For him, very, very talented athlete as well. So I get to that starting lineup again. Yeah, so there's Smith, Crittenden, Bowden, Hunt, Reed, Tinch, Williams, Edwards, Dunning. I mean, Crittenden is a really super interesting athlete. He could do something here at these U.S. championships as well. But again, top 6 from each qualifies automatically, and the next 3 fastest. So the goal here for most of these athletes is just to get through the process. So getting in the blocks right now. That's a good start there. Someone hit that third hurdle. But also good running there from Crittenden and also Cordell Tinch there in the middle of the track. Crittenden's going to win this. Corden Tinch coming second. 13.16 into a slight headwind ahead of 13.33. Jaden Smith, 13.37 as well. Same time being given to Eric Edwards. Dunning and Williams, 13.44, 13.60, also getting the automatic spots into the next round. Thanks everyone for joining. Let me get to some of these comments here. All in the Game, Beard, who works for Walmart in the deli, will get 25K from them if he makes it to team. Only 25K from Walmart. Slightly disappointed at that, I would say, but yeah, it's special that he has no sponsorship right there. Actually, no sponsorship. I remember this story. Yeah. Mindset, how you doing, man? The U.S. is always such a strong presence at the Olympics. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing for them, right? Across the board, obviously, they'll probably rack up a lot of most of the overall medals anyway. You know, China will be in the mix, but track and field, obviously, they'll most likely dominate. All right. So let me get a quick roundup on some other things. The women's high jump is about to start. If it's not in progress yet, you got the likes of Glenn and Cunningham have already made the Olympic standard. Glenn had a personal best this year of 2 meters. Cunningham 197. So we'll get to see that in progress as well. The men's long jump will also be in the mix. The Olympic standard, I believe, is 827, and I don't think any of the athletes in the men's long jump this year has gone 827, and I don't think any of them have met the standard. I have to check if anyone has the standard, but it's a particularly weak time, and I think All in the Game mentioned this last night as well on the live when it comes to the men's long jump. We'll definitely get 1500-meter final is on tap later on. The likes of Nagoose, Kessler, Tier, Cole Hocker. You expect a bulk of the running coming from those guys. Nagust, I think 3 minutes 33. There's 3:32 for Tier and Kessler as well in the 3:33s. Hawker just outside of that 3:34 this season as well. So it's gonna be interesting. Maybe other people could spring a surprise. Not quite sure. We're also getting rounds of the steeplechase. The 400-meter final is gonna be an interesting thing tonight. As we know, a bunch of athletes in the mix. You got the likes of a Mike Norman, Vernon Norwood, Quincy Hall. What can Chris Bailey do? Clearly, the big surprise. All the eyes are on Quincy Wilson. Maybe not necessarily to win it clearly, but definitely to see if he can challenge. I mean, who knows? Can the kid come back and run a blinder again? His first 2 rounds, youth 18 world record. It's ridiculous. I don't understand how a kid like that can go back to back at 16 and run those incredible times there. It means that he's in peak condition. I mean, we got a sense of how good he was at the pen relays in terms of his ability to come back and run fast splits in matter uh, of hours, but individual races, I didn't anticipate this. I don't know who did. And I almost feel like I don't know how to feel about it. On the one hand, I'm extremely excited about what clearly is a prodigy in the making here, but I also am cautious about the workload of a 400-meter athlete, uh, potentially a 16-year-old who hasn't filled out his body yet. It's exciting and scary at the same time. But that should be an interesting thing. Can Mike Norman win this comfortably? Last night he didn't look bothered in his semifinals. Clearly, there's a lot in the tank. You should think he's the only guy in the field that knows what it feels like to go sub 44. Don't know if he's in that kind of shape, but we'll see. Obviously, we have the 5,000 meters on tap as well. Saint Pierre, Schweitzer, Andrews, a couple of other athletes there. We can Cranny as well. We can think through that later on, and then the night ends with the 800 meters, and all eyes, I think, on Athing Mu for a number of reasons. Not only whether or not she'll win, but how fast she'll go and a better gauge of her fitness. Uh, Let me get to some of these comments. Thanks everybody. Don't forget to put your thoughts in your comments. Yeah, I'm doing well. I know the family is doing well as best as we can. I just got a chance to go visit some of them, so I'm not in my normal spot. All in the game is saying Glenn and Vashti in the high jump should be good. No, I think so too. I agree with that. Hopefully they can go over 2 meters. That would be good. All in the game, men's long jump is so poor. This is the event bowling should be taking advantage of as a 825-meter jumper. It's an interesting kind of point there, yeah. Mindset. I think no allies can be beaten come the Olympics. I don't think the goal is a foregone conclusion. I agree too. I don't know. I don't think the gold medal in the 100 meters has a person's name on it yet. Let's get a sense of what we see at the Jamaica National Championships this week. I just saw today news reports of Zarnell Hughes out of Great Britain getting medical exemption there. And by all indications, he will get the discretionary pick to go to the Olympics because he pulled up recently in Jamaica. So hopefully it's not too serious. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting at the Olympics. You could imagine Fred Curley would be better. A bunch of other guys. I'm still looking to see if Marcel Jacobs will get much faster. He looks healthy. He looks decent. Hasn't run any spectacular times as yet, but I think we'll see something there. All in the game is saying Quincy Wilson just needs to finish top 6. Yeah, he could possibly do that. Yeah, Imran, I'm so sorry about that. West Indies cricket. I was disappointed. I thought they did well to rally at the end, but not enough runs, and I didn't get a chance to really follow it because I was clearly doing track and field. But I'll get to that in a second. So yeah, back in this, Trey Cunningham looked really good the other day in Jamaica, and I'm expecting him to do some good stuff at these things. So they're out. Cunningham now getting into his running a bit cleaner than Beard, but Beard and Cunningham gonna go 1-2 here. 13-12 it seems on the flash time. Try to get some official runs right now. So 13-12 Beard, 13-19 Wilson, 13-34 Dickinson, 13-36 Harold, 13-41 and Young 13-46. Those are the automatic qualifiers. I think this was a stroll in the park for Trey Cunningham. Didn't come out as smooth as you would want. Let's see it again. Or maybe he did. Beard was a little bit choppy. Yeah, actually Cunningham came out well with it, well within himself too. Actually, it was a smooth run from him. It looked like a training run in my estimation. Yeah. But Beard was hitting a lot of hurdles. His yeah, he's hitting them with the hamstring hair area up into the butt area. Yeah, hurdling is technique there's way off there. He has a lot more in the tank there. But good to see Beard. So yeah, Cunningham and Beard. Cunningham look really smooth right there. Uh, let's get back to some of your comments. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Do me a favor and like the video. Mindset is saying Civil and Omani are also in the mix for the 100 meters. Civil for sure. I'm really hoping because if you think about the career trajectory of Oblique Civil, he went to the last Olympics, right? I'm right on that. He made it to the semifinals, and then that was a learning experience for him. And then he went to just finishing outside of the medals at the last two World Championships. Probably should have found his way on one of those medal podiums, particularly last year. The key for him is he has to be able to go back to back low 9/8s, I think. And I mean, I know he's been handled very well by the great Glenn Mills, who today, for another story, was really upset at the Jamaica Olympic Association, but that's a different story we can get into. I think he can really threaten. I mean, and if what we saw at the Racers Grand Prix is any indication of him getting better, maybe he's gonna be living in some 9/7s this year. I think he's capable of that. How much faster than that he can go, I'm not quite sure, but we'll get a sense. Omanyala, I just don't know about Ferdinand Omanyala at the major events. Sometimes he runs a bit too much for me. Didn't do that much this year. We'll get a better sense in a second, but I'll see what's going on. All in the game is saying Jacobs is actually faster now at this point than he was at this point heading into Tokyo. Thanks for telling me that. Very good point. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I from what I've seen from Marcel Jacobs so far, he looks like he's running into uh his own right now. Yeah. And I think there's a lot in the tank there. So we'll get a chance to see. Yeah, and there may be some surprises. I want to see the Jamaica Championships because Stephen Francis has been talking, a good game there, and especially for some of his athletes. So we'll get a chance to see if they deliver there. Yeah, yeah, all in the game. Seville didn't make it out of the semis in Tokyo. He didn't make it into the final, but he came back. Yeah, back to back fourth place finishes. Yeah, so I think now is the time for him to strike. He has done the learning. There's a level of learning that athletes really need to do. Most athletes have to do if they are to then make a case for greatness. He's at an interesting stage, the biggest stage in Paris. I think this is the year for him to try and win it. Make sure he gets on the medal podium. There'll be a World Championships after, and then you'll see what happens there. He suffered injuries over the last few years as well, so they probably didn't get to work as hard as they want to, but we'll get a really good chance to see. I'm hoping there's a good showing from Jamaica, the rest of the world. Zarnell Hughes, I hope he gets back fit and healthy as well. We should never count out Andre DeGrasse as well. He's been running fairly okay, and if DeGrasse knows how to show up at major championships and he's back in a setting that he's happy with, so we'll get a chance there. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so I think we have one more heat remaining in the 110-meter hurdles opening round. Daniel Roberts will be there. I think he's interesting. He could do some good stuff if things work well. So we'll get a chance to see Roberts. He's gone 13-11 this season. 13 flat is his PB. Cameron Murray as well ran a 13-16 this year, so he should be showing good form coming into this. Yeah, it's just you just want to qualify. Top 6 gets through, and then you got to do some busy running in the next few days. The championships takes a break until we get back on Thursday. The discus throw qualification round, first round in progress right now as well. I think Farley is in the lead with a 62.85. I'm trying to think. Valerie Alman might be in the next pool, I think. Is she? Yeah. Or she hasn't thrown as yet. Yeah. All right. Where we are, let me get some more. Personally, wouldn't mind seeing Akini Simbini, who has so many 4th and 5th place finishes going back to Rio 16 final, get it right. Such a good dude. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I think I was talking about that a few months ago too, or we talked about this too. Yeah, Simbini is one of those athletes, probably similar to Marie Jose Telu, who is just outside of getting these medals from time to time. At least she has gotten on the podium, but he hasn't. Yeah, he looked decent in. Who did he beat recently? There's a race that Simbini won. I'm trying to remember where it was now. My mind is. Was it a Diamond League or a Continental Tour? But yeah, it would be good to see. All right, so we're gonna get this 110-meter hurdle final off to a start. Waring, Scott, Rawlings, Britt, Roberts, Hurston, Murray, Bates, Morris. I anticipate a really easy, comfortable run here for Roberts. But there should also be, I think, I want to see what Murray does, what Britt does as well. And they're out. Roberts looking good there. Looks really comfortable. Murray looking good too, but Britt is coming along. Britt takes this 13.07 to 30.08 is I think is running down to 13.07. Britt moving there at the end. Roberts 13.14. Scott 13.15. Murray Murray 13:23, Rollins 13:38, Bates 13:56, and Morris, who finished seventh, also qualifies with a 13:57. That was a good race. I thought Roberts came out well. Britt was a bit behind him. Roberts had the best of start. I think Murray out there as well looked decent. Yeah, I think he was comfortable. Then Britt started to come like a runaway train there. Interesting one. Uh yeah. He walked down Fred and Coleman in the China. Yeah, exactly. That's that Diamond League. It was it the second or the first one in China. One of them. Yeah. I think Simbini. I wouldn't be angry at that, to be honest with you. It would be nice to see him on the podium. It's gonna be tough. You just never know. I think you have to be in great shape. I think you wanna to get on that podium in Tokyo. I'm thinking you need to be in low 9-8 shape or mid to low 9-8 shape. You don't probably have to run that in order to medal, but that's the shape you would like to come in to feel confident. Then it's your ability to go back to back, because you have to run hard in the semifinals, and it's not going to be easy, but it's the athletes who are in peak condition who can deliver fast times within a 90-minute session. Those are the ones who will make it onto the podium most likely. So all those athletes who might be struggling with niggles and so on, if they're not in peak condition, then it could be an issue. All right. Thanks everybody for joining. I got a bunch of people on the live, but I would, you do me a favor, if you like it, smash the like button. All right. So that's where we are. The end of the qualification for the men's 110-meter hurdles. Grant Holloway leading the pack with a ridiculous 12.92, world lead into a 0.8 wind. So just a slight tailwind there, or a little bit above slight. But who runs 12.92 in the heats of a national championships? Nobody does that except Grant Holloway. I was very surprised at that. Like, he was really pushing hard, but maybe he just wanted to feel it. But he's super special here. Yeah, Britt 13:07, Cunningham 13:12, Roberts 13:14, and Scott 13:15, Crittenden 13:16, Beard, Murray at 19 and 23, and Tinch 13:33, and Hunter 13:33. Those are your top 10 fastest times heading into the semifinals in a few days' time. All right, let's take a quick bounce around in the women's high jump right now. They're in the early rounds. They're now trying to clear 1 meters 83. So we're still in the early stages here. No one is out yet. Vashti Cunningham just cleared that on her first attempt. So, and I think Rachel Glenn is left to jump, along with a couple other athletes, and then they'll probably raise the bar to 188 after that. That's where we are in the men's long jump in process so far. I think Brackens is leading with 8 meters 15. Still early days here. These guys need to up the jumping if they want to get onto the team. All in the game is saying only 8 people eliminated after those four races. Yeah, that is a statement there. I think it's an absolute waste of time. Or they're trying to sell tickets or something like that. Yeah, absolute waste of time. Yeah, so we have men's 1500 meters on the track next. Your thoughts on the men's 1500 meters? This is going to be, I think, a really cracker of a race. The American men are, fairly good at 1500 meters. As you all know, Jakob Ingebrigtsen already with a world lead of what, 3:29.74, just ahead of Timothy Cheruiyot, 3:29 as well. So two men have already gone sub uh, 3 minutes 30. There's a bunch of other guys in the 3:30 range. I think Giles Elliott has a 3:31. So it's hard out there, and I think Cooper Tier is the top. It's 10th fastest time of the year so far. But there are some talented athletes here for the US. I think they'll send a good squad. You got Nagus, you have Kessler, you got Cole Hocker, Tier. Those are some interesting guys that could potentially do some stuff in the 1500 meters. I'm just getting a good look there at Freely, who just got to 62.85 in the women's discus. All in the game is saying Nagus and Haka not making it would be a failure. Yeah, I would think so too. I would think so. But you never know. Things surprise you. How many people last night legitimately thought after the semifinals of the 100 meters that Christian Coleman would not be in the finals? Will not be making it to the final of the. Will not represent the. What am I saying? Will not represent the United States in the 100-meter individual. I don't think many people would have guessed against that. Just getting a quick look here at the long jump. I'm not quite sure who this is. Oh, this kid from USC. Brackens. That's why eight. That's the 8:15 jump. Yeah. I want a penny for Carl Lewis's thoughts. I don't think we have to pay a penny. We could just probably ask him right now about uh the state of the long jump in the United States. I know you didn't. I mean, I know I wasn't sure at one point as well, but I was like looking at that run. I was saying I would have put him in there. It just looked really good, but I guess he didn't have it in the tank. Yeah. I had Lindsay as well. I thought Lindsay would have pulled something off, and that turned out not to be a thing. And I was on the fence about Fred Curley, but he found a way. I saw Fred Curley. I saw something today on in one of those on social media, I think, saying Fred Curley has a sponsorship. So clearly, after making the team, it's a good time to announce sponsorship. Likewise for Gabby Thomas, I think, as well. So yeah. 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 So yeah, I'll see. All in the game is saying if Negus and Haka doesn't make it, it should be it would count as a failure. I agree. There's a lot of hype about Negus. It's going to be difficult at the Olympics, to be honest with you, in the men's 1500 meters. It's just going to be really ridiculously hard. There's a kid from Portugal. There's a French kid. I really think you have to run really fast. And then we're not even counting, we're not even looking at what the likes of a Josh Kerr will do or a Jake Whiteman. I think people are going to pull up trees at the Olympics in 1500 meters. Jakob Ingebrigtsen is going to have to run his life off. Clearly, he won the last Olympic title, but then got run down twice to win by the Great Britain athletes to get to at the last two World Championships. So we'll see. I don't know. I can't see any American making it in terms of a medal at the Olympics. But stranger things have happened. All in the game is saying, yeah, Fred found a way. Yeah, Fred Curley, he did find a way. What were you saying last night? All in the game, you were saying something like, if he didn't make it to the Olympics, his negotiating power with new sponsors would be, he would have his leverage would be obviously, well, he probably wouldn't have had any leverage. And I think last night's run was a run for everything. Obviously, to go to the Olympics, which I don't know if he could make it to another Olympics. So he really, you want to take the opportunity. But it was a run for everything. He had a sponsorship bust up, and he needs to make it. There's a clip of Jakob Ingebrigtsen on the TV here. I don't know what they're gonna say here. I probably need some closed captions. Yeah, but men's 1500 meters gonna be great. Is it? Well, I wonder if it's the year. Every year I'm saying this. Is it the year we got a new world record in the men's 1500 meters? It's been around for a long time now. And I don't know if anybody's ready for that yet, but what's the world record? 3 minutes 26. Ikam Elga Rouge set in 1998. All in the game saying we're gonna get a new world record in the women's 1500. That's for sure. That is for sure. Yeah, I can. I definitely think when it comes to distance running, there is a lot of ceiling. The ceiling for women we don't really know yet. I've said it on record for a number of reasons, but yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous. Good Sagai is gonna be coming. Faith Kipiegan. I mean, a bunch of other Weltel J. There's a bunch of other Ethiopians in the mix. I don't know. It's gonna be different class are running in women's 1500. I think that's gonna be one of the races of the Olympics. One of the races of the Olympics. 5,000 meters for women too. That's gonna be special. Even the 10,000 meters for women gonna be special. Women's marathon. I want if you're a real track and field fan or you're just getting into the sport, I want you to study that stuff because there might not be the necessary media attention around it that it deserves. All right, so we're getting final here of the men's 1500 meters. A couple people are going to be upset here. A little bit of a tussle there at the start. Obviously, this is a national championships. There's no pacemakers. There's nothing. I don't even think there's wave light. There isn't. So Nagus is going to come up in the front now. He's going to cross. I'm seeing Hocker in the mix as well. Nagus looking comfortable. Still never like how he swings his arms. So he's going to come around soon for first 400 meters in a second here. So there's Kessler right behind Nagus somewhere there. So yeah, we're looking at like 56.32 for the first 400 meters. So Nagu's still in it. He's trying to take it out, I guess. I guess he's not interested in sprinting. So there's Kessler there. There's Cole Hocker. All the guys that you would expect are there. Just about 2 laps to go. This is pretty good running right now. We're looking at 155 at 800 meters for Yared Nagus. Nagus leading this all the way. At some point, will he step on the gas? They're upping the pace somewhat here. Nagus is coming right there. All right, so we have this bell lap here. This is movements here. This is going to be low 330s. Nagus is still leading. Hocker is coming right now. Cole Hocker is going to take the lead ahead of Yared Nagus. He's making that step there, and Nagus has to go with him. Kessler's in the mix as well. And it's going to be Hocker. I don't think Nagus can catch him right here. He's moving, and Nagus is trying to pump as well. Nagus is coming back in the mix. Hocker is going to take this. It's going to be Hocker, Nagus, Hobbs Kessler. 3:30.59. That's a meet record for the United States. A personal best for Cole Hocker. Season best for Yared Nagus. 3:30.86. And Hobbs Kessler, 3 minutes 31.53. Those men are the representatives for the United States. Fantastic running there. Thanks everybody for joining me. Cheryl, let me see what you're saying. At last, USA 1, 2, 3. Women's 100 meters Paris. I don't know about that yet, to be honest with you. I can't see that. I don't see that yet. Yeah, it's too early to say that. It's too early to say that. Sweeping at the Olympics is hard as well. Yeah. I mean, it's been done, but I mean, yeah, I definitely think, Richardson would be on the podium. I'm still not 100% sure yet about T.T. Terry. Jefferson, not sure yet. Yeah. All in the game is saying Nugu set himself up for Hocker, similar to how Michaela Rose runs the 800 meters. Yeah, I agree. But I wonder if he was just trying to push it out by himself, Yeah. Cole Hocker really set himself up right there. Hobbs Kessler making sure he gets on the team. And Nagus as well. So those guys should represent the US well. That's a really good time there for Hobbs Kessler. Not for Hobbs Kessler, for Cole Hocker, to be honest with you. That is really good running. Really, really good running there. That pushes him up at what? That's going to be the third fastest time in the world this year, because it's 3 minutes 30.59. And so that goes go ahead of the 3:30.80 by the French athlete Abs. Yeah, let me get some comments really quickly. Enough respect, my bro. Pleasant night. Yeah, how you doing, Truth? Thanks for coming on. Paris is not Oregon. Yeah, that's a good point here. Sonia, USA keep going on person's vlogs talking about 1, 2, 3. These people are funny. Yeah, I agree with you, Sonia. Like, even if that could happen, it it's way too early to even get that. And to be honest with you, 1080 is not times that will make you think, oh, you're gonna be on the podium. It's not a thing yet. It's not a thing. The 1500-meter finals just happened a while ago, and it was a splendid final, a wonderful run by Cole Hocker. Yared Naguse was leading for much of the race. He was trying to push it out, but Hocker just was hanging around, found this form, ran a personal best of 3 minutes 30:59, and Naguse running 3:30:86, which is a season best for him. Hobbs Kessler 3:31:53. So that was good running there. Yeah, yeah, it's done. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Let me see where it's going. Yeah, so to end that point, Sonia, nothing scares us. Yeah, I don't really think that's a big deal. No one making a 1, 2, 3 right now. I would say if all of them racked up and run 10.6, then we'd be like, well, it could happen, but it's still very early. All in the game is saying Nagus is 1.5 seconds faster than Haka, but loses the big races to him. Yeah, it's a strategy thing for sure. It definitely is a strategy thing. I don't. I think if you're gonna take the lead, you have to push it, and I, I don't think he's pushing it hard enough if he's gonna do that. And I don't know if he should be able to outsprint Haka, but I don't know. Could be a strategy thing. It could be a mental thing as well. Nigus needs to go from 146.38 800-meter guy to 145 flat. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Also, that arm swinging thing I just don't like it. I think he's losing valuable seconds there, but clearly, if it was a big deal, I would have worked on it. Cornelius is saying the person saying USA 1, 2, 3 in Paris probably only knows about US athletes. The Jamaican trials ain't even done yet. Yeah, I mean, look, even without the Jamaica trials, too, I just have this really feeling that we're gonna get a ridiculous run from Julian Alfred. I just think so. I I think Coach Flo will have Alfred running very low 10.7s. Could potentially dip under that. We'll see. But yeah, you can't. We haven't seen Jackson. We haven't seen Fraser Price. I mean, yeah, we'll see what we get from them and whoever surprises, Alana Reed, whoever. But yeah, I wouldn't put much into what Dina Asher Smith might do over 100 meters, but you never know. Yeah, I don't think they'll threaten for medals. Likewise, Kambunji probably wouldn't, but it's it's just too early to be making these bold statements. And I said this last night. I think I was when we were on the live last night. I was also saying this. I don't need to see. Yeah, someone was saying they want to see the Jamaicans run really fast at the national championships. I don't think you really have to. I mean, I would like to see at least 10.8s running or something like that, but it just looks like a good spectacle. But Paris is in 5.5, 6 weeks, right? So you don't really need to be running a super fast time now if you can get yourself on the team. And the most important thing is to make the team. Yeah. Julian Alfred Sonny saying can't sleep on her for real. Yeah, no, I think she's really talented athlete. She her preparation going into the Olympics is different from most people. She doesn't have to think about a national championships. And so they can be measured in when they really get her to be at her best. And we know she's super talented. There's no question about it. We've seen her run very fast after long collegiate seasons. She's been to major championships, so there's some experience there as well. And this is the first year that she doesn't have any obstacles of the collegiate season, so she's been prepared to be at her very best at the Olympics. So I would not sleep on her for sure. I, all in the game is saying Haka is a mid 145 guy, and it showed Nagus needs speed work by improving his 800 meters. No, that's 100%. That's 100% real right there. I think he's not fast enough, and he has to really put in some really hard work. But it might be. I mean, he might need that hard work to get into the final. Yeah. And all in the game is saying we're still 6 feet out. People need to just calm down. Yeah, for sure. I think everybody's buzzing, and I actually I don't want to take away people's buzz. It's an Olympic year, and we also, and I mean this with 100% respect, because most of you guys on the live, it's not a huge live tonight. I suspect most of you guys are good track and field people too. They understand the sport. In the next how many weeks, you will have a lot of people who don't know how long an 100-meter takes that will try to preoccupy your time with nonsense, and you just got to entertain them, and sometimes you just nod and smile. So people get really excited over these things, if I'm being honest with you. Steeplechase going on, but we are in a time where there's going to be a lot of people putting attention on track and field, rightly so, because it's the Olympics. There's also going to be a lot of people with huge following that going to get on it, and you're going to get some declarations about what people do, and then people might then immediately say this is the greatest thing they've ever seen, when maybe it's true that's the greatest thing they have ever seen, but they don't really know. So don't worry about it. Yeah, and there's the Diamond League meeting before Paris, right? There's in Diamond League meeting in. There's one in Paris, not at the Olympic Stadium, obviously, not at the Stade de France, and there's the one in London as well. And which other one is in before that? All in the game, is it Monaco? I could check that real quickly. Yeah. Diamond League. And and there's gonna be a lot of people who come to so it's gonna be Monaco, I think. I think it's Monaco, London, and Paris before we get to Paris. Yeah. So yeah. I want to go to this Monaco Diamond League. I don't have time though. That's one of my dream Diamond Leagues to go to. To go to Monaco. I guess you gotta fly into Nice, I think, or so. Yeah. But we have a lot of time, and some athletes will just get ready just close to that time, and we may not see some athletes until around the time of the Olympics. So we shouldn't worry about it. We should not worry about it. Yeah. Yeah. Any early predictions for the Jamaica National Championships? I haven't even spent time looking through some of that yet. I'll be doing some little deeper work on that. But I did see. I know some of you here might be supporters of Jamaica, and I did see some clips today of a Glenn Mills video. I saw, what's his name, Ludlow Watts. I saw it on the internet, where they were complaining about the lack of support from the Jamaica Olympic Association in terms of the requisite number of coaches and so on that you need for the Olympics. I mean, it seems really like, I mean, it's not the first time these things have happened, but also why are they having this 6 weeks out before Paris? That seems like a problematic situation. It's just, yeah. All right. So, yeah, we also obviously have tonight after the 3,000 meters steeplechase, we'll get the heptathlon 800 meters that will close it out. It should be a cracker over 800 meters. Should be competitive. All the top four should be in the mix. Then that's coming up around 9:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The final of the men's 400 meters, we'll get that at 9:59 p.m. 5,000 meters is right after that. Then we end the night with the 800 meters, and that's going to be interesting. Last night we saw Michaela Rose running what I thought was a shocker of a race. I mean, she came off the first 800 meters. What was it? 57.75, something like that. You don't really want to do that, obviously. And could have been knocked out, didn't get an automatic spot there. But it's going to be interesting. There's Herta Klecker as well, Raven Rogers. Yeah. Yeah. Someone fell in the steeplechase there. It looks like Ellis. She got up and continued, but I don't know what that means. Yeah. You don't want to fall in a steeplechase. You don't want to fall any at all on the track. Unless you're Sifan Hassan. All right, so good stuff going on so far. Let me get a quick update on the long jump. I want to see what's going on in the long jump. So Davis right now, Jeremiah Davis is Jeremiah rather is there at 820, Brackens 817, Crump 808. So those are 808 as well. Where's Dendy? Dendy is in 11th place at 7 meters 62. He's done, right? Yeah, this is not particularly exciting long jump in progress, and obviously if you don't jump 8 meters 27, you won't make the standard. A quick check in the high jump right now. They're at 191. Hofnagel seems as if she's had a perfect series so far, clearing all of them. Cunningham has also cleared 191, but she had to do a second attempt at 188. Rogers also cleared at 191 as well. I think Glenn is in the process of jumping. So we're still in the early stages of the women's high jump. We'll see what we get here. Those are the things in progress. The discus still going on there. So early stages. Any comments on the thing? Yeah. All in the game is saying, yeah, Dendy is done. Yeah, it's a sad state for the long jump. It's one of the premier events. I have a soft spot as well for the long jump, being I like to look at the history of the sport and sport in general. It's one of the events that came over from ancient Olympia. There's something similar to the long jump, like the javelin, like the discus. There's a few events that are in the Olympics today that are holdovers, if you want to think about it, or they transition from ancient Olympia into the modern Olympics. And the long jump is a special thing. Some of the greatest things we've ever seen in the sport of track and field has happened in the long jump. Obviously, it's a sport that's also transitioned in interesting ways. The current version of the long jump is a relatively new version, I say, because I think we used to do the broad jump or the standing jump, if you want to call it that, up until, was it the St. Louis games or yeah, I have to check that. Don't let me not riff that off the top of my head, but anyway, we've seen some great stuff. Boston, we've seen on the men's side, obviously. the great Bob Beamon 1968 Olympics there. You've never seen anything like that. It's always a, I think, interesting thing because the measurement, they had electronic measurement in the 1968 long jump, and Bob Beamon jumped further than the measurement system was capable of measuring. So famously, his world record that stood until that great night in Tokyo, where Carl Lewis and Mike Powell had one of the greatest long jump series you've ever seen in your life, and I would encourage you to go watch that if you haven't. And so it's like the appetite for the long jump is just not where it needs to be, at least in the United States, and they have a really big record of producing some of the great long jumpers we've seen over time. But you know, the Europeans are still strong. The Jamaicans are really good at long jump as well. Uh, they have a few guys that could potentially find their way on the medal podium. So, you know, all is not lost for the sport, but you always see great long jumping come from the United States. All in the game is saying, don't mind the discuss, but always prefer the javelin, hammer, and shot put to it. Interesting you say that. You know, growing up, I always had a preference for the discus, and well, shot put first for me, and discus second, maybe because I used to dabble in it. But I I always preferred that to even javelin. I mean, I think I would say if I had to rank it, I would go shot put, discus, then javelin. Javelin, interesting sport. Obviously, you had to change the implement, and hammer was always my least favorite of the lot. But hammer is probably the most dangerous event in all the track and field, probably next to the pole vault. But I think it's more dangerous. I mean, in terms of what can happen there. Sorry about that. I haven't even been covering this steeplechase. This is disrespectful of me. Mitchell 9:29:54 qualified. Wasn't he the one who fell? Yeah. Constantine 9:29:61. Wayman 9:29:66. So 5 athletes here actually qualifying. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, women's steeplechase is also a tough thing. When we get to the final, we get a better sense of what's going on there. But the steeplechase for women is, let's be honest, it's not something that the Americans will do well in. If we're being honest with ourselves, you know, you have to be capable of running sub 9 minutes, and it's gonna be hard to pull that off for some of these athletes. If we're being honest with ourselves. Uh, all in the game. Hammer is a beautiful mix of power, timing, and rhythm. No, for sure. I think it's only recently I started to really appreciate it, especially when you look at how they coach it and the techniques and so on. It's really it's a high quality kind of an event. Only few people get it right, and it's high skill, really high skill as well. It's and you have to have right equipment and structure for hammer. Likewise with, I guess, javelin, you just need an open field for some places, but when you think about some of the events in the sport that will kind of move across uh, boundaries, you know, you need proper setup for the hammer. Otherwise, people are going to be dying. All right, so there's a few more. I think there's what? How many? There's one more heat for the women's 3,000 meters. Then we'll get up to the 3,000 meters steeplechase rather. Then we get to the 800 meters for the heptathlon athletes that closes off the night. We'll definitely get our top 3 athletes that will represent the United States. And then into the men's 400 meters. What's the call for the men's 400 meters? It's early days. Let me know what you think. I still believe that the men's 400 meters is Michael Norman's to lose, rather. I mean, in the semifinal, we couldn't gauge. It looks like he was just walking around the track. We have a high schooler. It's crazy, right? Quincy Wilson. We've seen him where he goes to Bullis. He's really great. 16 years old. I mean, talk about the big man on his campus, right? If he ever makes it to the Olympics, and he just needs to finish in the top 6, we'll see. But I'm right here with the likes of a Norman, maybe Quincy Hall, and Deadmon in my top 3. Unless Vernon Norwood decides to do something special, but I can't see it. And then I think Wilson will finish in. I think Wilson will finish in the top 6, unless he's tired. And if he doesn't finish in the top 6, he's done everything he can. I mean, Chris Bailey, out there in lane 9, that's a tough place to run a 400 meters. You have Robinson in 1. There's McRae as well. You can't count him out. But we'll see. I definitely think if Norman finds the right form, he shouldn't be able to beat him. He looks good physically. We'll get to see that in a matter of moments. In fact, we'll see that at the top of the hour, just at the top of the hour. Yeah. All right. Don't forget to get your comments in. Be happy to address them. Put them up, your thoughts, anything. All right. I guess they're doing something on the NBC channel here, just showing Lyles and Norman and so on. How many people are excited for this Netflix documentary that's coming out next week? What's the name of that the Netflix track and field documentary? They're hyping it up. I think the premiere was a month ago or a couple weeks ago. All right, so we're going to get a second heat of the women's 3,000 meters, and then we'll move on after that to the women's 800 meters for the heptathlon. All right, get a drink here. All right, just a quick update on the men's long jump. They're into the 5th round, I think. And it's still Davis in the lead, 8 meters 20 rather, which equals his season best. Bracken's still in second place, 8:17, and MacArthur 8:10. Those are the top 3 right now. None of these athletes have the Olympic standard. I don't believe they do. Someone has to jump 8:27, or they have to find a meet within the next week or so to get onto the team to go to Paris. Otherwise, they won't be making that flight. Women's high jump. Hufnagel still in the lead. She's cleared 1 meter 94, and it's been a perfect series for her so far. Vashti Cunningham has 2 misses at 194. Jenna Rogers also 2 misses at 194. And also Rachel Glenn in 4th position, 2 misses at 194. All in the game is saying Hawkins is in 2nd place in the Hept, is the weakest 800 meter runner of the top 4 with a 224 PB. The other 3 are between 203 and 214. This will be interesting for sure. The question is, what kind of shape do you think Anna Hall is in when it comes to 800 meters? That's the question. Coming back off the injury. Yeah. But yeah, 224, yeah, 203 to 214. Yeah. I think Hawkins will need to run a blinder. Let's see where we are in that just really quickly in terms of trying to map that out. So what we're looking at here is Hall is in the lead by 6 points. So Hawkins but Hawkins is leading Brooks by she's 492 to 560, and then Atherley is a bit behind there. So it's gonna be a matter of you could finish behind all 4, I think. If you're Hawkins, you can finish behind Hall, Brooks, and Atherley, I think, but it's how far behind you finish is the real question here. She'll have to run a blinder for sure. All in games, I would guess closer to 210, 214 shape for Anna Hall. Yeah, Hall. I think she runs 210, and she gets in there unless these women decide to go sub 2 minutes, which will never happen, obviously. But yeah, I think Hall is fine. I think Hall is fine on the team when she finishes healthy. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah. You guys saw the World Athletics is running some kind of a giveaway to go to Paris. So, if you sign up, you can win a trip to Paris for you and someone else. I don't know if it's all expense paid for. It might be. Yeah, so I would recommend you sign up if you have interest in going to Paris. Women's high jump. Rachel Glenn cleared the 194. So it's Glenn and Hufnagel left in the competition. Cunningham in 3rd place. And Rogers in 3rd place as well. They have the same series? They do have the same. Yeah. So Rogers and Cunningham has the same series because they all miss at 194. Cunningham missed at 188 once, and Rogers missed at 178 once. But I think if you miss at the earlier mark, you come. How does that work? If you miss at the earlier mark, let me see. Vasha will finish third in 191, has achieved so little for her talent level. Hofnagel with a big PB, 187 to 194. Yeah, I didn't. She's. Yeah, the Cunningham thing is really an interesting point there. Uh, we got to unpack that another day. But so in third place 191 Roger, yeah, because I think if you go on the lower mark, if you miss at the lower mark, then it goes in. Yeah. Oh, actually, the series isn't the same. Yeah. So Rachel Glenn and Hofnagel still in the mix. Oh, Hofnagel just missed that 197 on her first attempt. I forgot I could have that on a separate screen as well. I should have had that set up. All right, so yeah, where are we at? Like 7 minutes 25 on the 3,000 meters. So you need a top five to get through to the next round. Jennings looking really good there. Doesn't look like she's breaking a sweat either. So there's Ostrander in the mix too. There's Halliday, Howard. So final lap here in the women's second heats. Jennings still in the lead, looking very comfortable. Good form there in terms of running. Looks like she's really strong. Good clearance of the hurdles right there. Of the hurdle rather. Or the barrier. She has a commanding lead there. This is about look like a 15-meter lead. She's extending that unless she falls at the final water jump, then she'll be fine. So yeah, she's clear ahead. So top five gets into it. And so Gabby Jennings really comfortably gonna take this home with a massive, massive margin. It's about 30-meter lead there. So 9:23.88 over Howard, 9:26.38. Olivia Markovic, 9:26.67. Lexi Holiday, 9:27.36. And Ali Ostrander, 9:29.32. Those are your qualifiers for the next round. Chrissy Gear didn't make it, and she also had the Olympic standard. All right. All in the game is in. Have seen a few of Ostrander's. Interesting. Training. Okay. Gutsy little runner. That's really cool. Let's get back at. Let me see this long jump. Where the long jump is. Oh my God. They're in what? The sixth and final round. And And Davis is still leading at 8:20. So Grimes just got a 8:11 on his last jump there. These guys need to deliver a big jump. Oh, that's a good jump there. A bigger jump there from Lawson there. Ah, that's 8 meters 18. That pushes him into third position. So he moves from seventh position into third position there for Lawson. That's a big jump there from Gerald Lawson. So he moves ahead of Brackens. A reminder that Bowling, who could finish out of the top 6 in the 400-meter final, is an 8:25 long jumper. I think you're laughing at this all in the game. You're probably smirking a lot. I guess Bowling doesn't know what events to pick. Yeah. He's going to be hoping for a mixed relay. Who has the rights to the U.S. Olympics for the measurement? Who's DV Sports? I don't really know if I know that company. I gotta ask my producer to look them up. Yeah. Yeah, so we're just watching the ending of the long jump there, guys. I'm looking at Crump on the runway. That's barely 8 meters and change. It's not good running down the runway. At one point, he was going back. I don't think he was smooth enough. He's probably a bit. He wasn't relaxed. I mean, Davis obviously will definitely win first place. He probably doesn't need to jump, but he has to jump actually because you want to see if you can pull off the standard. Bracken scratched to 110-meter hurdles to go all out on making the long jump team. Well, he won't make the team. Well, that's the problem there. So Brackens finishes 1 centimeter outside of the third position for the Olympic team. I mean, obviously without the standard though. How you doing, Eric? How many minutes left for the women's 800 meters to begin? The women's 800 meter final isn't until 10:34 p.m. So we're looking at an hour and 11 minutes. The women's 800 meter for the heptathlon is at 9:37. So in 4 minutes you'll get the women's 800 meters for heptathlon. All right, he runs into the sun, so that's anticlimactic end there to the men's long jump. Jeremiah Davis, 8:20. Malcolm Clemens, 8:18. Jarian Lawson, 8:18. Those guys need to get beyond 8:27 for the Olympics to make the Olympic standard. So next on the track, we're gonna have the 800 meters for athletes, and we're looking at two heats here. The culmination of 2 days of hard work, or 2 days of hard work. Let's see. Oh, the DV sports people are interesting here. Gotta go talk to them. They're outside of Pittsburgh, PA as well. They do stuff for the NFL too and so on. Yeah. Having a jump off between 1 and 2, then 3, 4 in the women's high jump. Oh yeah, that's what they're doing, right? Let's get back to that. Okay, because but there shouldn't be a need for a jump off between. Are they actually doing that all in the game? There shouldn't be a need for a jump off between Hufnagel and Glenn because Hufnagel has the better series. Yeah. All right. So we're just waiting here, guys, and thank you for all of you guys on the channel. We're waiting for the heptathlon 800 meters, and following that, we'll get the men's 400 meter final. Now is the time to make your predictions here if you haven't. Then, following the men's 400 meter final, we get the 5,000 meter for women. A couple of American women running decent times this year as well. But I'm probably going to go with St. Pierre. Yeah. Mm. There's a shot here of the Los Angeles Memorial Complex. The LA Olympics should be really fantastic too. Hmm. Right now, we're looking at 76% of you guys saying Athing Mu will win the 800 meters. No surprise there. Nina Akings rather. You got Raven Rogers and Katie Grace. I don't know if I mean, I know LA is a great city. It's also a hot city. I don't like the Coliseum being wide open like that for the Olympics. I guess you got to bring your hat. But it's going to be a beautiful Olympics in LA. It's really interesting. Yeah, I need to look into the LA bit some more in terms of what they're going to do for the preparation for the Olympics. I was just looking, guys, at the what they were saying here on the LA Olympics, which obviously takes over from Paris. I mean, Paris, as you know, is only two permanent venues have been built for the Paris Olympics. The new Aquatic Center, which is a fabulous venue. When I was there, I didn't get a chance to get in there because they were still they had just done an opening ceremony for it, but they weren't allowing people to go in there unless you were testing out the swimming. And yeah, for a lot of things in Paris, it's just a lot of repurposing. We should have a video out sometime later just talking about some of those venues there. But in the middle of central Paris, you will definitely see breaking, uh, BMX bicycle, all these kind of stuff that they've been just putting up. There's the Eiffel Tower Stadium. So directly from the Eiffel Tower, if you've been to Paris before, there's a long kind of grassy area. They've set up a 12,000 seater temporary stadium there that will host beach volleyball and blind football. And there's other spaces and places like the Invalids, and the marathon starts in front of Hotel de Ville, and there's a bunch of stuff that is just repurposing. Opening ceremony on the River Seine, which is interesting. I think in May, when I was in Paris, they were talking about the water at that point good enough for wasn't good enough for drinking, but it was better than before. So there's a lot of things that they have to get that city ready. Third time a charm for Paris. Obviously, they hosted the Olympics last time 100 years ago. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting Olympics there. Just got a quick shot here of Anna Hall, and hopefully, I mean, she'll have a good run. As you know, the multi events are really taxing on the body, and she suffered a big time injury here. All the great athletes at some time, suffer stuff, and Nafitiamu is one of the greats for me. She basically was struggling with injury, but she's back. So we should have good multi events in at the Olympics. All in the games there. 400-meter hurdles is now just a bonus event for Rachel Glenn later in the week. Yeah, yeah. Spot on the team, obviously. Women's high jump. Let me just go over it one more time to make sure that it's all taken care of. And Hofnagel, obviously, 194. Glenn second, 194 as well, but it's different kind of a clearance. And Vashti Cunningham, 191, takes a spot above Jenna Rogers, who also had a 191. So these are athletes capable of going closer to 2 meters, you would know. I mean, is this a PB for Hofnagel, I think, or so? Was it? Yeah, Hofnagel came here and delivered big time in this high jump here, and so she finds her way heading to Paris. Well, not quite heading to Paris yet. Hold on, let me see something really quickly. I think yeah, she has to go 197. So it's a big PB for her, yeah, but she needs to go 197. Yeah, so Hofnagel needs another. She needs a meet right now. Yeah, she pretty much needs to find a high jump meet before now and next week, right? Because the Olympic standard is 197, right? Which I think is a bit harsh, but that's another day. Thanks everybody for joining. We're here on the watch alongs. Big night already for track and field. U.S. National Championships going on there in Eugene, Oregon. We are waiting for the 800 meters for women's heptathlon. That should come up in a matter of, I mean, that should have been going on right now. So they're probably running slightly behind. And then after that, we'll get to the final. So yeah, they're on the track. There's a shot of Anna Hall right there. Interesting. I'm just looking at this Anna Hall interview. I'm watching the Anna Hall says Jackie Joyner Kersey is her biggest inspiration. Interesting. That means that she had to be a student of the sport, because Anna Hall would not have been born when Jackie Joyner Kersey last Olympics for Jackie was in '96, right? When Bobby pulled her off the track, right? If I remember that correctly, yeah, 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. Jackie was injured; she couldn't go, and Bobby went and he took her out. And I think he was saying, "I'm not the coach right now. I was the husband, if my memory serves me correctly. And yeah, so you must have been watching a bunch of uh, JJK's videos in order for her to be your inspiration. It's going to be special. Yeah, so I don't know what's the hold up on the women's heptathlon. It's already getting to. Anyway, they're on the track right now. This is going to be a cracker over 800 meters, guys. Anna Hall, not quite sure what 800-meter shape she's in, given that she's coming back from injury, but we'll get a chance. So there's Hawkins, Atherley, Brooks. All the principals are here for the top spots to go to Paris. You gotta get 6,480 points if you're gonna qualify for get the Olympic standard. So let's see what we get here. So the first 800 meters is off here. I mean, this is where you have to find every energy that you don't know. So there's cutting over. Anna Hall is taking a little bit of a long time to cut over, but they're all trying to get over there. There's Atherley and Hall. And Anna Hall is going to probably take the lead here. So Atherley's really up with her as well. I think they're really trying to move hard in order to make sure that they're. So Hall is going to hit the bell at 1:59.21. Really good strength there from Hall. She's digging deep. Atherley's right behind her as well. But that's a really powerful run there by Anna Hall. Atherley's still in the mix as well. It's gonna get some big points here. It's gonna be 1,050 somewhere around there, 1,060 if she can continue in this pace. 146 here. Look at that. She's gonna run like 205 or so. She's like opening that up on Atherley. She's gonna cross the line here. Wow, that's 204.39. That's a big run there from Anna Hall. Atherley 206.68. Also, that's gonna get you about 10,014 points. Ali Jones 211.950. Brooks 916 points at running 213.39. Whew, that is some really big time running there. That is some big time running. So Hall wins the trials, 6,614 points. Hawking 645, just outside of the just outside of the Olympic standard. Same for Brooks as well. But that was some good running there from Anna Hall. To run 2 minutes 4 suggests that she's really in good shape. She has a good 6 weeks now to get her body right, get certain things right. We saw her recently testing out in a few of the individual events. But she's back. And yeah, that was something good. Let me get to some comments. All in the game, still in the mix here. Appreciate you for keeping the channel vibrant as well, and for the rest of you for sticking around. Hall at her best can eventually run sub 2 minutes in 800. I can see that because really good running there. She looks like she's also a bit more built than the last year or so. So maybe some good work in the weight room there as well. At least from the upper body angle I got there. All right, that was really good. Good running there from Hall. All right, so this women's heptathlon there. All done. And in a matter of 3 minutes, we should get the men's 400 meters. Last call for your predictions here. Whew. I'm going to go with Norman, Deadmon, and Quincy Hall. Whew. Running out of lane 8. Is that too much? It's going to be a big run here. And hopefully Quincy Wilson makes it in the top 6, because it would be just fantastic for the youngster to make it to the Olympics. Thanks everybody for joining and for sticking around. We will finish out the night. Obviously, after the 400 meters, we get the 5,000 meters women, and then the night will end splendidly with the women's 800 meters. What's this? Did the 100 go? You mean yesterday? The 100 meters for the U.S. Championships was yesterday for men, won by Noah Lyles. Kung Fu Kenny Bednarak coming in second, and Fred Curley finding his way on the podium as well. And left off the team in terms of individual was Kristen Coleman. Yeah, we just got the wrapping up of the heptathlon there, and the other events for tonight. Thank you for joining me. We will have the men's 400 meter final that will be on the track in another minute, and then after that, women's 5,000 meters, and then the night ends with the women's 800 meters that will feature Athing Mu. You got the likes of Herta Klecker, Raven Rogers, Akins, Michaela Rose, Whitaker, Wilson, and Schofield. That should be a banger there as well. 5,000 meters should be great too. I want to see Ellis St. Pierre. There's Andrews, there's Schweitzer. Good running there. I'll see what Elsie Cranny does as well. Women's 1,500 meters for the United States in decent place. It's probably won't be competitive to get a medal, but you never know because actually no, it won't be competitive to get a medal in Paris if I'm going to be 100% honest, because we're talking about some of the all-time greats are going to line up there in Paris, and we're going to see ridiculous times from probably Faith Kipyegon, and who else? Maybe if Goodaf decides to do it, it's going to be crazy. Men's 400-meter final coming. All in the game. If Michael Norman messes this up, I mean, yeah, he shouldn't, but it's Mike Norman. You never know what you get. But he looks good. He looks like he's in good shape. He seems. Oh, I just got a shot of Mike Norman's mother. Looks more like his sister there. I probably shouldn't say that out and loud on the internet. I apologize. Look at the 16-year-old. You want both Quincy's to make it? Yeah, that would be great. Look at that. The kid from Bullis. He looks focused. He's talking to himself. This just can be a 16-year-old. Yeah. Now they're showing a thing here. He got into the honor roll as well. So the kid's doing well. Yeah, 16-year-old is just ridiculous. Yeah, crazy 16-year-old, man. I mean, a lot of high hopes for him. Look at him. He's just like he doesn't even have a lick of adult muscle on him right now. And, I just hope that he is well taken care of. To come this far is just outstanding. But we'll see. A 16-year-old lining up in a 400 meter. A 400 meter. Let that sink in. We should always remember that. The 400 meter is a really crazy thing. T. Bilsey, you recommend Quincy Wilson should go pro or college? It depends. I mean, currently I think he could go to college, but he doesn't have to. I think he can go to college and still benefit in terms of with NIL now, and also not with these lawsuits that have been coming through the NCAA, where they'll potentially be sharing revenue. Most of that revenue will obviously go to like football and basketball, but there's more opportunities to stick around. And it's off right now. Mike Norman is out. And Norman is picking up the stagger big time now, and everybody is destroying the backstretch right now. Wilson struggling there in the back, Quincy that is. Mike Norman is moving. This is going to be low 44. Look at that. Mike Norman comes off by himself. He's not running as hard as before now. Quincy Hall is coming now. Look at Quincy Hall. Mike Norman just about that. Quincy Hall is coming right there. Quincy Hall takes this. What did All in the Game say if Mike Norman messes this up? 44-17 for Quincy Hall. A PB, Mike Norman, 44-41. He has a lot of questions to answer there. Bailey, imagine that. Bailey gets the next spot. 44-92. I was thinking about that. Vernon Norwood, 44-47. Bryce Deadmon, 44-61. Wilson gets 6. That means he makes it to the Olympics. Quincy Wilson will be the 16-year-old gets the chance to go to the Olympics. 44.94. So imagine that the kid runs 3 consecutive 44s. That is unheard of for a 16-year-old. Mike Norman was eating up that backstretch. Then all of a sudden, I thought he was on course to run sub 44 the way he was moving. I got to look at it again. Matthew Bowling 8:45.15 and Justin Robinson 9:46.04. 46.08. Look at that. Quincy Hall is just like digging. I mean, his hands are going up in ways that you'll never want to see in terms of form wise, but he's just giving it everything. I don't think Mike Norman is in the kind of shape to run sub 44 yet. Vernon Norwood on a relay. Bryce Deadmon also in the pool. Young Quincy Wilson will go to the Olympics. Let me get to the comments here. Unfortunately, I don't have any Paul. I apologize. Yeah, at least I can't show it. That's Mike Norman for you. Exactly all in the game. Old man Vern fourth again. It's ridiculous. Vern Norman finds a way sometimes. I guess he's upset he probably doesn't get the individual spot, but he'll go to the Olympics. He'll most likely get a bronze medal. Not a bronze medal. He'll get a gold medal over 4x4. Well done, Chris Bailey. Yeah, earlier I was saying, can Chris Bailey do it? But then I decided, I was like, nah, out there in lane 9, I wasn't sure if he's gonna be able to pull that off. And yeah, Quincy Wilson. That is really good. That young kid, he looks disappointed. That's the maturity of the 16-year-old. But well done for him. I hope he knows that he'll get to the Olympics. Can he actually even go in the athletes' village at his age? They got to give him a separate room by himself. What a moment there for the youngster. What an incredible moment. We've just witnessed something special there. Let's savor the moment for a 16-year-old from Maryland, Bullis. We saw him run all year really hard. He's run some 44 splits and very low 44 splits. We saw that at the Penn relays, getting his team back into the relays. And for him to come to one of the hardest 400-meter teams to make in the world, and not only just to show up, but to make it all the way to the final, and all rounds running 44 seconds, not as fast as what he ran yesterday. I mean, if he had run 44, what was it, 44.59, he still would have finished fifth, but it doesn't matter. The kid has done brilliantly well, and he now finds himself on an Olympic team at the age of 16. Got to wrap him up in all sort of cottonwood and wool rather in the proverbial manner. But he's a special talent, and I hope he only gets better from here. But his whole family, his friends, his support structure, they must be really proud. Back to the race analysis itself. Quincy Hall finds a way. Big running there from him, way out there in lane 8 he was. And he finds a way. Mike Norman, way out there, to be honest with you, at 300, he was at 32.15. I thought the way Mike Norman was running that, eating up the backstretch, he was on course to go sub 44. Clearly hit a brick wall. And the 400 meters, the more you push the limits, the more you find out. So clearly he messed around and he found out. So unfortunately, he didn't win the race. But I guess the fortunate thing for Mike Norman is that he's booked his trip to Paris and he'll get an opportunity to do better there. What about Chris Bailey? Way out there in lane 9, PB 44.42, finds his way with an individual position, and that's fantastic. Vernon Norwood, we got to call him the elder statesman for 400-meter running for the United States, finishing fourth. Unfortunate for him, he won't be able to run an individual event at the Olympics, but he'll get a chance to contribute in the relay, you'd imagine. Likewise, Bryce Deadmon and Quincy Wilson will make up the pool. Matt Bowling, not quite sure what to make of him. 45.15. I think All in the Game earlier said he probably should have done the long jump because the long jump is so poor. But yeah, tough. McRae didn't do anything either. 6 guys going sub 45. Nobody getting close to sub 40. Well, Quincy Hall running 44.17. No one going 43 seconds. And that's been an interesting feature of the 400 meters worldwide so far. We'll get a chance to see if anybody dips below 44 seconds before we get to Paris. But last year, as we saw at the World Championships, Antonio Watson won and he didn't go to below 44 seconds. So who knows what we'll get at the Olympic Games. Let's see where we are here. All in the Game is saying Quincy Wilson running the semi of both mixed and 4x4 relays in Paris. That would be massive, right? Imagine that. He would have been pulling off some big time medals there if all things go well. All in the Game, if they somehow find a way to put bowling in the relay team. Look, I'm not involved with USA Track and Field and their relay pool selection. For years, they've done interesting stuff. The last couple of years, you have to say they have been back on track. And yeah, I leave that up to them. My producer put this out. Enjoying the stream. If you're enjoying the live stream, try to help me to get to 5,000 subs. I appreciate it. So if you're not a subscriber of this channel and you enjoy our content, subscribing is really easy by clicking that button. One of the things, it helps me out, but it also helps you out because then you can hit the notification bell and then when we go live, then when we drop videos, and it's just so easy. The women's 5,000 meters currently on the track right now, and it should be a good race here. Watch out for St. Pierre, watch out for Cranny, watch out for Schweitzer, watch out for Andrews. Yeah. So Cranny's in the lead here. It's going to be a good a good 13 laps to go right now. So we'll see what happens here. This is one of these standout events in world athletics. So we'll see what happens. World records might be going in this event as well. You never know. At the Olympics or on the circuit, maybe preferably on the circuit too. All in the Game, they appear Quincy Wilson with one of Norwood or Deadmon in the mixed 4x4 in Paris. Yeah, I think so. They have to. They should give the kid a run. And he's proven he's really good at relays. He's run some fabulous splits over 400 meters. Over 4x4 rather. You just got to rest up and try to get back, keep his peak or bring him back down and get him back in good shape. Yeah, so we'll see what's going on here. So after the 1,500 meter, the 5,000 meter final, guys, the only thing left on the track is the women's 800 meters, and that should be a cracker. Really, thank you for joining me again. And if you really, and for supporting the channel, smash that like button, hit notification bell, subscribe to the channel. I'm in my mobile studio here. I'm doing a bit of traveling, so just trying to do a little interesting setup. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. So good, quick shot there of Valerie Almond hugging her mom. Let's see what Valerie Almond did there. Was it like a one and done discuss there? Oh, that went out really far right there. That's a ridiculous throw there from Valerie Almond. How far was that? 70 meters 89. That is up there. Just a one and done. So that means Valerie Almond is in really good shape. She'll put her clothes back on and or warm up gear back on rather, and go get some rest. It's a meeting record for the United States Championships as well. 70-89 in qualifying round. One and done for Valerie Almond. Yeah. So yeah. So 5,000 meters in progress right now. Valby is in the lead right now, looking really good, looking comfortable. Emily Infield, I don't really like her running form there. And why are they going to a break during the 5,000 meters? Anyway, let's do some recap of other things. Yeah, so next on the track, obviously, would be the final of the women's 800 meters. There's Rose, Akins, Herta Kleckler, Athing Mu, Raven Rogers, Grace, Whitaker, Christy Schofield, and Ali Wilson. We get a chance to see what the kind of shape Athing Mu really is in. As we know, she's raced spear. Well, she hasn't raced spear, she hasn't raced at all until this U.S. Championship. So she's had 2 races under her belt: the opening 800 meters, the semifinal. So this would be a 3rd race, and as you know, at her best, she's a 154 runner. And I believe if you're gonna wrap your hands around the gold medal, you want to be in that low 155, getting on the sub 155 shape at the Olympics. It's going to be extremely competitive. The 800 meters this year is extremely competitive. You have a bunch of top class athletes, and not only that they can run fast, there are athletes out there that are really tactical, really race sharp, race smart, like a Mary Mora, right? So we've seen Keely Hutchinson already running a 155 this season, 155.78. Mora has gone 156.71. Prudence Segodiso has gone 157.26. Then you have people like Nakai, you got Jamarike, you have Daguma. There's a bunch of women there that can move in those kind of circles. Then obviously we'll see what we get from the likes of Athing Mu. So I think it's going to be a very difficult final to make at the Olympics, and certainly to get on the medal podium, you're going to need to be in top class shape. Parker Valve is still in the lead here in the women's 3,000. Let's see where we are here. All in the game out some comments here that I see. Until Gardner suddenly drops a 43.7 over the next couple of weeks, the men's 400 meters is so wide open. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, the men's 400 meters is wide open. Like, Yeah, I don't know. It's open. It's very open right now. I don't know how to. I think unless somebody, as you say, run 43s or it's anybody's game. I suspect Stephen Gardner will find form. He was looking good. It's probably about strength and his speed, endurance, and all that stuff coming back from the injury. That's the question. What's the hell going on with Shawnee? I need to make a call to some people. I just haven't been talking to. I've been so busy. I haven't gotten a chance to reach out to some people to who will have a little sense of what's going on as well. But if you're correct, right, all in game, I think last night you said Shawnee hasn't met the Olympic standard. And if that's the case, she has to find a race this weekend or sometime within over the next week in order to make the standard. Yeah. All right. So Parker Valve is still in the lead. There's Smith. There's Ellison Pierre in the mix as well. Cranny, Schweitzer. So all the big athletes in the mix. A couple of these athletes doing the 5,000, 1,500 meter double here at the US Championships. Oh, the deadline is Sunday. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's not running because she doesn't have the standard, right? I mean, Valvey looks good here. The Floridian, the gate, the athlete that they're from the University of Florida, rather. I don't know if she's from Florida, but she attends the University of Florida. So you need 14 minutes 52. So you got to get that time in order to get it. So I think Parker Valve is doing the right thing here, trying to push because she needs to get into. She needs the standard if she's gonna get to the Olympics. I don't know necessarily if she'll win this because Ellis St. Pierre, Cranny, and Schweitzer are just setting up themselves to pounce. I know she doesn't look as smooth as she was earlier. The other athletes look a little bit more like they're running with rhythm. She's looking like she's checking a lot. So the 5,000 meters is coming down to a fast finish here, guys. I think it's going to be exciting in the next couple of laps here. So next three more laps to go, I think, or so. Valve is Parker Valve is still in the lead, but I think she's gonna get run down by Pierre, Saint Pierre, Cranny, obviously. All of those girls or women rather, are gonna run her down. And again, if you're gonna make it to the Olympics in the women's 5,000 meters, then your standard is 14 minutes and 52. Yeah. So Ellison Pierna is going to take the lead. They're going to go and move ahead of her. And right now, Valvy's like stumbling there. She almost fell. Yeah, she doesn't know how to hang. She can't hang with these women. Unless she's going to find a kick at the end. But Cranny will kick hard. So does Schweitzer. Yeah, they're now they're opening up like a 2-3 meter lead on Valby right now. I mean, Parker is trying to be in the mix, but these women are just kicked up the pace a bit. She does not understand this kind of pace. Unless she's going to find something in her. But she has to go with them. She's got a bell lap right now. It's now like a 15 meter lead from St. Pierre to Parker right there. She has no shot. So it's going to be between Ellie St. Pierre, Elise Cranny, and Carissa Schweitzer. Those are the women that also have the Olympic standard. So I think those three will represent the United States here if they come home comfortably right here. This is going to be good. Coming off the bend now, and it's going to be a ridiculous kick to the end. So it's Cranny and Ellie St. Pierre. Cranny's trying to take down Ellie St. Pierre now, but that's not going to happen. St. Pierre will hold on to the lead. It's neck and neck at the line. It's neck and neck. That's a really good dip there, if you want to call it a dip. Ellie St. Pierre runs a meet record at the US Championships 14:40:34, 14:40:36 for Ellis Cranny. Really big time running there by those two. Excellent running. And then 14:45:12 versus Schweitzer and Parker Valve finishing in fourth. Unfortunately, runs 14:51:44 and makes the Olympic standard. If one of these women decide to only run the 1500 meters at the Olympic trials, Parker Valve could go to the Olympics. She could go to the Olympics because she's just made a standard. The standard, as I said earlier, was 14 minutes 52:44. Not 14 minutes 52 rather, and she ran 14 minutes 51:44. So she got the standard. A brilliant run by the Florida Gator. Let me see what's going on here in the comments. Thanks everybody. That was a fabulous finish there, all in the game, as you say. Look at that. It's a proper lean. You would think it's a sprint. Look at that. Yeah, as you said, Valve also needs to develop a kick. Yeah, still young. Hopefully she can improve, but she has the standard, and maybe she can go talk to one of these women and say, "Look, how about you not running that 5,000 meters?" Yeah, can't hang with a big dog. Yeah. All right, so we are getting up to the event of the night. One of the true generational talents that we have in the sport of track and field, Athing Mu, guided by Bobby Kersey, an athlete that's run extremely sparingly over the last year or so, bogged by some injuries, but a very special talent, a woman that's run 154.97. So far this season, she's gone 158.84, which she ran in the semifinals. Let's see what we get. One of the questions is, will Michaela Rose go all the way out like she did? Maybe not. This time she needs to be more strategic. But I suspect the athletes who are likely to get that ticket to go to Paris, bulk of those runnings, I imagine, running will come from Athing Mu, Raven Rogers, Herta Kleckler. I think Nina Akins will be in the mix as well. You can't count out Katie Grace as well. So I think most of the running will come there. Maybe Michaela Rose will have a better sense of a better strategy, rather, a better race strategy, and maybe she'll find a way, but I doubt it. I'm just excited to see what we'll get here. So 800 meters next, and that will wrap up a fabulous night. And as if you're following the schedule, the United States trials will take a break for a couple of days, for a few days, and more than a couple of days. And they'll return on Thursday, June 27th. I'll be around. We're also gearing into the Jamaica National Championships too, which I'll be doing some coverage of as well on this channel, where we do some watch-alongs and we talk about it. And there's a bunch of other things happening in track and field and other sports. So, yeah, I want you to stick with me. Again, I'm on a mission for 5,000. So if you haven't subscribed, it would help us out a lot. So thank you very much. And once we're done here, make sure you check out some of the other videos we have on the channel. All in the game is saying Nina Akins needs to step it up in the final. She definitely does, because otherwise she's going to get left behind. I can't call it. To be honest with you. I can't call it. Can't call it. So far, season best for Wilson is 2 minutes 29. Krista Schofield 2 minutes 64. Whitaker's gone 159.53 this season. Kate Grace, rather, 158.97. Raven Rogers has only gone 2 minutes and 1. So, but we know she's a 156 athlete at her best. I don't know what we'll get. I think 158.84. Eartha Kirkler 158.48 as well. She's also gone 157 in the past. Nina's done 157.98 this season. She looked decent earlier on the season, so we'll see what we get. And obviously Rose, I think with some strategic errors, definitely a couple weeks ago at the NCAA final, and what we saw in the semifinal last night wasn't a particularly good race strategy. She's a 158.37 athlete. So this is going to be a great one. Yeah, as all in the game is saying, can't call it either. Just want a clean race. Yeah, Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. Hopefully, no one ends up in any kind of a hustle or as they try to jostle for the line. All right, guys. One event to go. Athing Mu, one of the great athletes here. I guess they're panning to some modeling thing of her. Fabulous story there from Athing Mu. Parents left the Sudan, and now she's already an Olympic gold medalist. Very special talent. So we'll get to this race right now. Let's see what we get. Coached by one of the great track and field coaches. Bobby Kersey. Numerous Hall of Famer athletes have been coached by Bobby Kersey, including Jackie Joyner Kersey. So there's a good support for Athing Mu in the crowd. It seems like our family is there. Let's see what we get here, guys. Raven Rogers. I haven't gone on the 2 minutes this season, but at our best, a 1:56.81 runner. Kate Grace with the longevity in the sport. Her son is in the crowd as well, 35 years of age. Nia Akins, let's see what she'll do. All right, this is going to be a really interesting race. I think all in the game. Bobby, please let Sid / Athing do the 400/400 meter hurdles, 400/800 meter doubles in Tokyo next year. We got to ring him up on that there. All right, they're off. And the 800 meter final is going. See, they're making that push to see who will do the cutover first. There's I think Mo fell. I think Mo fell. Oh my. It's all over. Because when you fall in unless she's going to find her way back. Oh my God, I think Mo fell. Whew. She has to race the run of her life. Because if you fall in a final here, the most they do is disqualify others. But you will not get back on the team. Athing Mu fell. I don't even know I actually don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. I think Michaela Rose is still in the lead there. Right now, I think Mo is like having like a 40 meter 50 meet. She will not finish this race. She cannot finish. It looks like Nia Akins in the lead right now. Michaela Rose is in the mix as well. Raven Rogers not in the mix as well. Nia Akins is going to take this as a canter. And Whitaker is running a race of her life. Ali Wilson's coming in as well. Akins wins this in 157.36, a PB for her. Ali Wilson, 158.32. Whitaker, 158.45. Michaela Rose, 159.32. And Athing Mu will come across the line last in 2 minutes, 1969. Oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the shocker of the century. And she's distraught. She's crying. They need to take the camera off her. They can't do that. They shouldn't be doing that. They should come on, NBC. Don't do that. They know it's a bad. Don't do that. This is an unforgivable sport, track and field. It's the Olympic year is also one of the worst things that can happen to anybody, because you have to wait 4 years before you go. All in the game asked for a clean race. We didn't get a clean race. People stumbled. Athing Mu on the ground. On the cutover, she gets tripped by probably Raven Rogers. Then Whitaker, someone got off the track. So it's Akins, Whitaker, and Ali Wilson that will represent the United States in Paris. Yeah, this is shocking right there. I mean, it happens, but you don't expect it to. Yeah. I mean, she was really. She was really nonchalant across the cutover is a dangerous thing. When you have to make that cutover, when you're doing the cutover, you have to be strong. It's you get bunched up really easily. I think Mo has a lot of experience. I don't really know what happened. It just looked like she got tripped by Rogers or something like that. But that is, I don't know what to say, guys. I'm in total disbelief at what I saw right there. But congratulations, obviously. Can't take away people's shine either. Congratulations to Nina Akins, 157.36 PB. Ali Wilson, 158.32, season best for her. And Juliet Whitaker running a personal best as well, 158.45. And Michaela Rose, outside of it, obviously, 159.32. Everybody else, 2 minutes and 2 minutes plus. I'm surprised by Herta Kleckler. I thought she would have run much better than this. But the shocker of the night is that the generational talent, someone that we think would probably go down as one of the greatest over 800 meters, still can, obviously, will not be running the 800 meters at the Olympics, will not be able to defend her title And this is beyond belief right now, ladies and gentlemen. Derek D. Mike, the hype went for a world record again. I don't even know if you could clarify that. Gotta feel bad for Athing Mu, obviously. Look at it. So sport gives us the greatest joys that you can have, but also when you get to the lows, it's also tough. So it's a wonderful night of track and field. Didn't end the way we wanted. You never want to see someone fall and they lose their ability to defend their title that way. But you can't control this. Very tough night. Tough night. That's probably the motivation there for her. All in the game. All in the game is saying, watch Athing go get the world record a la Kenny Harrison in 2012. Yeah, if everybody remembered, Kendra Harrison didn't make the team, and then she went out and broke the world record. That obviously will help a little bit. I think the problem for Kenny was she didn't have an Olympic gold medal, right, at the time, and still doesn't. But at least Athing Mu has an Olympic gold medal. She's very young, so she can come back for Tokyo. Not for Tokyo. She's definitely for Tokyo next year, the World Championships. But she can come back for LA, and then she can also go to the Olympics after that as well, assuming she stays healthy and she still is motivated to stay in the sport. But it's heartbreaking, and I suppose her role at the Olympics will most likely be a part of the relay pool now, unless the US athletics change their minds on the relay pool as well. But yeah, falling in an 800 meters, if someone causes that issue, is not, is helpful if you're in the opening rounds or the semifinal. When you get to a final, there's not much you can do, much disqualify whoever does it, but you don't get to get elevated in the position. So that is tough there. Stay curious, how you doing, man? Yeah, dirty race in the end, in the sense of bodies falling, someone ran off the track, and it was a lot of evasion. I thought Whitaker did a really good job to hurdle her way out of trouble. Hmm. Tough night, guys. Tough night. Well, I really appreciate everybody. I hopefully helped me also with my goal of getting to 5,000. And so if you can get on, if you can do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. All in the Game says USA Track and Field will absolutely put her on both mix and 4x4 teams now. Yeah, I guess they will for sure, because that's the best way to, for her to be there. She's a global icon. So we'll have a new Olympic champion over women's 800 meters for sure. We'll definitely have a new woman. We'll have a new Olympic champion over women's 200 meters too. Brian, can't see any of them making the podium in Paris. Absolutely no. I think you're looking at Keely Hutchinson, you're looking at Mary Moore, you're looking at Sedagisa, you're looking at Nakai, you're looking at, even Gemma Riki could be in the mix. Probably won't make the podium. Yeah. Yeah. What happened to Athing Mu? Zhao, she fell. She got tripped in the race. It seems, from my vantage point, I saw it a couple of times, but it's difficult. It seems as if she got tripped by Raven Rogers. It looks like, and she fell. and she got up. And when you fall in a race like that, you can't come back. It's, she at one point she had like a 40-meter distance behind, it seems like, or 30-meter distance. And at some point, there's nothing you can do to come back in the race. Yeah. So yeah, she fell. Athing Mu fell, and nobody. You mean none? Yeah, none of them will get. Yeah, I don't think this crop of women are good enough to get a medal in Paris. They may do well to even make the final in Paris. It's gonna be tough to. I think this probably be the time for Keely Hutchinson. Obviously, Mary Moore will have a lot to say about that. Prudence will say a lot too, and other people will be there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It looked that way. It looked like she tripped over Raven, and as I was mentioning, the unfortunate thing in a final is that even if Raven caused it, and I don't think Raven did anything, it just happened. I think was a sort of, I'm just seeing it again. Yeah, yeah. Looks like Mike Tirico is sitting down with Rai Benjamin, Noah Lyles, and Grant Holloway, but I'm not focusing on that. Yeah, it's just like you get tripped in a final, there's not much you can do. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. None of them going over to Athing was telling. But she also ran off the track really, really quickly too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's all accidental. It's not you're right there. It wasn't nothing wasn't intentional or anything. And that's the thing about 800 meters. You get bunch up in the cutover. As everybody know, when you make a cutover, you try to go in a straight line as best as you can. But sometimes it's better to just kind of hang out, especially when you're a high quality athlete like Mo. Either you push for it early or you just allow it to happen and then you find a way around it. But this is just us, like it's Monday morning quarterbacking right now, or Monday night quarterbacking. Yeah, it's tough. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody for coming on tonight. It's been a pleasure. I am gonna sign off for the night. I'll be back probably tomorrow in a few days, obviously, for some more lives. We're trying to push some videos as well. So you stay tuned to Sports Talk Tech. My name is Dwayne. It's been my pleasure to hang out with you, and thank you for joining me. Do me a favor, like the video. If you haven't subscribed, it will help us. We got a project to get to 5 subscribers really quickly. So if you can do that, we'll appreciate it. I end with the all in the game message here. She'll never sit to the pack again. Exactly. You don't want to do. You either go out or you leave the pack to go. Then you take them down. And her quality, she can do both. And this was an interesting run for Athing Mu. She won't be going to Paris to defend her title over 800 meters. Probably will still leave Paris Olympics with 2 gold medals, but those may have to come from the relay. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. I'll see you in the next couple of days. Bye bye.